talk about some of the most iconic video game openings of all time, we can bring up Sonic Unleashed, Final Fantasy X, Ocarina of Time, Smash Bros. Melee, Sonic CD, Persona 5, Kingdom Hearts. But for me, I think without a shadow of a doubt, the most iconic video game intro of all time has to be the intro to Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII was marketed to be one of the most cinematic video games of all time, and the game just slaps you in the face with that fact. A fully rendered 3D intro cutscene. In fact, it was so cool that it was remade multiple times, like 5 actually. So in today's video, I want to take a look at every version of Final Fantasy VII's intro and rank them from worst to best to see which one comes out on top. Starting off with number 5, easily has to be the PlayStation 3 tech demo version of the Final Fantasy VII intro. In 2005, Square Enix wanted to show off what they can do with the power of the PlayStation 3. So they decided to finally remake Final Fantasy VII. Intro. If you want to find the patient zero for all of the people wanting a Final Fantasy VII remake, it started right here. And the reason why it's at the bottom of the list is, well, there are a few reasons. One, and this is the most important, it doesn't have that iconic shot where we get a look at Aerith's face. Now, this might seem like a small detail, but it is important. Instead of getting that, we get a side shot with the bottom half of her face, where they try their best to make her seem super all mysterious, like we don't know who the fuck she is. I think what made the original opening so cool was the mystery. We get to see her, but we don't know who she is. It could be just some random person, and we get to slowly find out that, wow, that person from the intro is actually one of the most important characters in the game. And not just like, oh, I'm here aura farming because I'm Aerith and I end up dead anyways. Besides that, the actual intro looks really bland. 2005 was kind of like the era of video games where they had to be super quote-unquote realistic, and in order to do that, they just made everything very gray and dull and lack any color. And unfortunately, this tech demo was a victim to that trend. And from there, it basically follows the original beat for beat until we get to Cloud, where he jumps off the train. But even then, bro does like the most sauceless jump of all time, hits a lame-ass pose, and ends the fucking intro. Yeah, this is definitely bottom tier of bottom tier, man. Sucks. Up next is Crisis Core Reunion's version of the intro. So when you beat FF7 Crisis Core for both versions, after you finish the credits, you get basically an epilogue cutscene that shows the intro to FF7. Now, originally, I had the original Crisis Core version lower, but I look back at both of them again, and I'm low-key gonna put this newer version lower for one reason. None of the animation is new here. The beginning half reuses footage from Remake, spliced and like edited together to make it look like the original, but it's just the remake. Then the second half doesn't even like change up the art style to make it look similar to Remake. It just uses the original footage from Crisis Core 2007. So you get this tonal whiplash and it just kind of feels lazy. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in 4th. Up next is Crisis Core 2007's version of the intro. Now, this one in the beginning takes heavy notes from the E3 2005 version with its cinematography covering half of Aerith's face, like almost shot for shot. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if they used the E3 version to build off of to make this. But I do like that this version looks way more vibrant and colorful than the E3 version of the demo. It looks a bit more like a newer version of Advent Children, which is not, it's nice. Now, where things start to differ is when we get to the train. Instead of the train pulling up to the station, we follow it with Cloud on top, mirroring the intro of Crisis Core, but instead of Zack, it's Cloud, showing that he has fully transformed into the Cloud that we see in OG FF7. I think overall, while it is faithful to the original, kind of, I think going for its own thing in the context of Crisis Core is still really cool, but unfortunately it doesn't get any higher. Also, it doesn't have that iconic logo shot that is synonymous with the intro, so that's gonna kick it down a few points in my ranking. But it's still not a bad version, it's pretty good. Up next, we have number 2. Now, it's between these two, and they're both amazing intros, the original and the remake. And after much deliberation, at number 2, I chose the original. It is the first one, and honestly, I think the reason why it's so high up but not number one is because just the graphics were a little outdated. I really do think it's because the graphics are just a bit outdated, but it's still fantastic. And I think the reason why it still holds up to this day is because how iconic it is. None of the remakes of this intro have even come close to matching the impact that this intro has, especially seeing it for the first time. And for the time, it was a technical masterpiece, and while it doesn't really hold up graphically today, I still do think that the unique art style of Final Fantasy VII still makes it look like an amazing visual vibe, I guess. And of course, we finally get to see that fucking goddamn logo shot, man. I honestly think without that logo shot, it wouldn't be as iconic as it is today. Then finally, we transition down to the train station, and I always thought it was so cool that even for a PS1 game, it attempts to make a seamless transition from CGI to gameplay. They really wanted to show that this game was ahead of its time, and if you look at all the marketing, that's what they were pushing. Like half of the commercials were just the game's CGI cutscene. So overall, even after all this time, I still think this intro bangs, but there can only be one number one, and that one number one is the one that will be the one to win. Fuck. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is the absolute best version of this intro, and it's not even close. And what I love about it is not just how beautiful it looks, because it is beautiful. It is hands down the best looking version of this intro, but it's how it fits the theme of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because where it might seem the same at a first glance, when you start to watch it again with a keen eye, you realize that it's not the same. And that's why I love it. All of the ones before have tried to just make the original with a few changes to the camera angle, or maybe switch up the order of things a little bit, but here it feels way different. I mean, well, besides the whole fucking new animated cutscene that happens before, but I'm not gonna count that because that's not really what I'm talking about, but that's still fucking cool. But like, look here, in the beginning, instead of Aerith just walking away, she has like some type of like sense of danger, and then she kind of scurries off. Then she trips, and when she tries to pick up the flowers, they are stomped on, and then she's just left there looking hopeless. This whole intro gives off a way different vibe than the original. Instead of us seeing this new place for the first time and being filled with this sense of like mystery and wonder of this new city, instead here it's shown to us in a new light. Well, yeah, it's more pretty and more colorful than ever before. It feels more cruel. And when we have that zoom out shot, we have that logo reveal, and from here, it's basically the same from the original. And can I just say, I love that they kept that transition from CGI to gameplay in here, which is just a really nice nod to the original. And I think this is genuinely one of my favorite intros to any video game ever. And with that, those are all of the intros ranked in order. It is crazy to me that this intro is just so timeless that even after all this time, it can stand as the GOAT, in my opinion at least. I know there are some that may be more iconic to some. To me, this is it. This is the pinnacle. This is the synonymous ultimate video game intro. But that's really all I have to say for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment down below. What do you guys think of this intro? You think it's fire? You think it's mid? Tell me if you think it's mid, tell me why you're wrong, but all that stuff. And comment down below, what is your favorite intro? I asked y'all in a community post, but let me hear y'all in the comments. What do y'all think? Thank y'all so much for watching. The mod is coming along great, guys. As of recording, I just finished up Speed Highway, and I also took your guys' feedback, and I did some changes to Emerald Coast that I think y'all gonna like a lot. I took a lot of y'all feedback. I'm learning a lot of new stuff about modding, like how to actually edit the levels, geometry and stuff, and like how to make lighting look cool. So I think y'all gonna really like this new update for the mod, making it, evolve past fucking Emerald Coast. But I think I'm still thinking about what levels I want to do. I'm definitely not gonna be doing Windy Valley because it's fucking been done 1,000 fucking times, and we have the beta auto demo, so I don't see a point. But let me know, guys. Let me know. But that's really all I have to say for today. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'll see y'all in the next one.